Welcome to Diversity Conversations, where we engage in thought-provoking dialogue to identify leadership solutions to today's most challenging conflicts. Stream live each week, Saturday 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Hosted by Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Strategist and CEOs Eric Ellis and Tommy Lewis. Join us and add your voice to this engaging diversity conversation.
Good morning, Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, the United States, and the world. My name is Eric Ellis, and I'm the president and CEO of Integrity Development Corporation, and I'm joined this morning by my good friend and brother,
Tommy Lewis, president and CEO of Make It Plain Consulting. Good morning, Eric.
Woo! Good morning, Tommy. How are you?
Another beautiful, beautiful day around the world. Every day that we wake up, Eric, is a beautiful day. And so I know it sounds redundant that I say it often, but I mean it. I mean it. Every day that we're able to wake up, and then even so much more every Saturday that we can come together to have a conversation with you and I. It's a beautiful day. Rain, shine, sleet, or snow. And snow's coming.
Oh, Tommy, it is coming, man. It is coming. And with these two new knees, I'm thinking, do I have to put the salt down?
Yeah.
That's the question for me. I had to be the one to put the salt in. I mean, I can just see myself rolling down the driveway. Just bag of salt all over me. So I can buy it.
Yeah.
But I love DoorDash now. I can actually have DoorDash bring it to the house.
Yeah.
I wonder when they're going to put it down. Can you? It's ready for it.
Additional service.
Yes. So there are opportunities as we move into 2025 for new businesses.
Yes.
But Tommy, man, I'm excited about the new year. There are new possibilities. Our topic today is achieving 2025's Power 5 goals. And so, Tommy and I want you all to think about the most powerful, the most important goals that you need to achieve. And we're not only going to talk about ours, because we have 5 goals, that powerful goals, things that Tommy and I want to achieve. These would be things that you've been thinking about for years. You've been maybe even putting them on the list. And then you can find them 5 years later, they're in the garage or somewhere, and we want to give you some specific techniques to help you achieve those and to help us achieve those. And we're going to check in throughout the year. To make sure that we are accomplishing, because I'm telling you, the times that we're living in, they have nothing on you if you just implement the goals that God has given you, the things that he's called you to do. If you just implement those things, we see great success in your future starting right away.
I love what you said, Eric, about keeping one another and our community accountable. So it's not just randomly and arbitrarily throwing out goals.
Right.
Oh, it's the goal season, so I need to set a goal. Or set 5. But actually hold ourselves and one another accountable to achieving the goals that we set for ourselves. So it may sound like, how are you doing against that goal? If we remember the goal, and then there's some backsliding. Was that one of your goals? Was your goal to identify a goal and then backslide? I don't know. Was that the plan? If it was, then you're doing a great job.
Congratulations.
Otherwise, let's get back on the horse, get back on track, and let's ride it out to completion.
Because I'll tell you, I see Tommy Lewis generating, creating, achieving some things this year that you've never achieved before.
Yes, sir.
And that's the power of the goals that Tommy and I, because what we know is that we're able to accomplish most things that we put our mind to. But Tommy, I would suggest to the community that we're not putting our mind, we're not challenging our mind to achieve bigger things. We're okay with achieving good things. We're okay at achieving things that other people might say, man, that's amazing. You guys got a podcast?
Say it.
Ooh, that's nice. But that's not the level that we can achieve that. That's not the level that you can achieve that. And there's some achievement, there are some goals that have nothing to do with money or materialism. There are some goals that have to do with things that are more powerful, more personal to you. We're going to tap into those as we go throughout the day. Tommy, how was your week?
Week was good. Slow week after the holiday to Christmas season, still taking some time to rest and relax, Eric, running into the office every now and again, just to make sure that I'm, I can get lazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can fall into the couch potato scene very, very easily. So I need to make sure that I have the habit of getting up and still thinking through some things. And then also every year for the last 10 years, Eric, in this season, typically after New Year's and before the next start of the work week, my mind goes into strategic thinking. Right? It does go into goal setting.
Yes,
what's next? What can we do differently?
That's right.
And so
same here.
One thing that we are doing differently at the business, and it was brought to my attention, we had a great opportunity, Eric, 4 weeks ago to submit a bid for opportunity. And after submitting the bid, in fact, we had prepared the proposal and was about to submit it online, that you typically do. And because the proposal was due the next day, and realized that it could not be submitted electronically. It had to be submitted in paper.
Oh my goodness.
I had good hope in this particular opportunity.
Right.
And so ran the FedEx and spent $275 to overnight the proposal.
Really.
And 7 days later, we got a rejection. Right. I immediately submitted a request for public records. Right. And that is, I would like to see the top 3 proposals, the winning proposal, and the score sheet for Make It Plain. And 2 days ago, we received it. The top 3, they were competitive. Those proposals look good.
Okay.
I mean, I'm like, we are going to be using this. The winning proposal should have won.
Good.
African-American led organization. I'm not going to share the name right now, Eric, but I hope that they knock it out the park. I am so excited about this company. They are a competitor, but I took a look at their staff. I took a look at their history. I took a look at the owner. Sister, go get it. Go get it. And I was so excited about that. And then I saw our score, and we had some areas for improvement. And so that's how my week has been over the last few days, that I've been excited about other people's success, even in my own defeat. But the defeat was not actually a loss. It was a learning opportunity. Let me repeat and then turn it over to you, Eric.
Now, my head is still shaking. Go ahead and finish it. My head is just spinning right now.
The proposal that this company submitted, this was a diversity, equity, and inclusion opportunity. The graphics were very plain and simple. The narratives that followed the graphics. So you have a graphic icon, and then you have a description. Clear, concise, to the point. It literally told a story of how we're going to help you. If there's anything about marketing, branding, scaling, business growth, personal growth, is how do you tell your story? Is it a compelling offer, Eric, or is it a decisive argument? 2 different things. Compelling argument, compelling offer, decisive argument. I don't want to lean toward the decisive argument, right? A strong, decisive argument, my way, no way.
Right.
But they had a compelling offer. And I said, I see why you were kudos. That it was a learning opportunity the last couple of days.
So this is a first for me. I don't think in my lifetime I've ever sat alongside somebody who said that I put in a proposal and I requested information, the top 3 proposals and the rating sheet for myself, and it was fair. and the winning company deserve to win. Community, I want to say that's why I am friends and partners with Tommy Lewis, because that just takes another level of maturity to just be able to experience that and then to share it with others, because that's a learning right there. I want my children to hear that. I want to replay it for myself and others, because I think that those are the kinds of beliefs, statements, thinking that prepares you to be worthy to win future proposals.
Yes, sir. Yes,
is that you say, hey, here it is. I don't have to, nobody has to tell me this. I looked at it myself.
Wow. Wow.
And I analyzed, I deduced that this person, what they provided was better.
Yeah.
And I'm learning some things from them. I'm learning some things right now. I'm saying, time to send me.
Yep.
Because we know what we're good at. We're not good at everything. We know if we got the job, we would do a good job on it. But he saw some things there that said, man, there's some high quality thinking here and approach here. I'm pulling for you. And really listen to that. Excited for the winner. None of us is happy when we don't win. But when Tommy looked at it, he said, I want to see the rest of this story. Wow.
I do. Eric, I'm going to send you that.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you those.
Wow.
But as you were just talking, Eric, I actually know why I think this way. It just came to me right now. Just like you, Eric, we're athletes. And
come on now.
So
you can see another baller.
Yep. I got to shout out my good friend, Steve Rogers. Steven Rogers was a competitive guy growing up playing baseball. For years, he played on the opposing team, and he was very good. He was a baller. And I could see that. And so I wanted to ratchet up my game as well.
Okay. He
played basketball. He played football. He was a quarterback. I was a quarterback. He was a point guard. I was a point guard. He played first base. I played shortstop. I remember two things. One, I remember competing against Steven, and every now and again we won. Every now and again he and his team won. But when we played each other, for the most part, it was in the playoff season. I had so much admiration of his skills, his personality, his character, and his father.
Wow.
His father actually tried to recruit me to play on his team. Right? Real talk.
Yeah.
His father knew my father, who knew our neighbors. I didn't know how the adults hung out.
Right.
You with me?
Right.
I just thought the kids were like the adults, all the black men knew each other. They were all friends.
Right.
And so when we would lose to Steve's team, obviously I was down, but I wanted his team to win. I wanted him to win the championship, not the next game. Win it all the way. That's the whisper in the ear, right? The other thing is, Eric, I think this way because as an athlete, after playing the game, you just go to the tape.
Okay, come on now. Come on.
When you go to the tape, and the coaches are going through the different plays and yelling out the mistakes you made, right? You can see clear as day, you lost this game, right? It wasn't your best performance. The other team beat you. Or you can see on the tape where you beat yourself. In this case, the other team beat us, right? I'm going to send you the proposals. When you look at it on paper, not just the interview, because they haven't had the interview yet. I'm like, they beat us. They beat us. And so we'll get into our goals for this year, the 2025 Power 5 goals. And one is this is not a goal, but one aspect of it is acknowledging, right, where and how you have lost in the past. Acknowledging where and how you have lost. I'm on a soapbox this morning, brother.
Yes, you are, Tommy Lewis. And I tell you, so I've written down as a result of what Tommy is saying and sharing here, that as you think about your goals, that success begins with strong character. So I don't think that we achieve any of our goals, Tommy, without having the right character.
Okay.
And your character says, here's what happened. I lost. Boy, the person that won, they're strong. Yeah. And I want to see the rest of the story. I believe that that's what God desires of us, is to really be able to call balls and strikes, to be able to say, hey, this time I was the best. Yep. This time I wasn't. And wow, I saw some people that are doing some amazing things, and I'm happy for them. Tommy, I just say, man, that's just powerful. It's moving to me. Good morning, Ken Wilson. So glad to have you joining us.
Hey, Ken.
We are excited about our topic for today. Let me pull up. Tommy and I are preparing to keep growing and moving and going up to the next level. So as we think about our goals, part of that is taking diversity conversations to that next level. And so as we look at the topic for today, it's achieving 2025's Power 5 goals, how you can make this year the best year that you've ever had. Whether that's personally with some things that you're trying to achieve, whether that's professionally, whether that's within your family, your community, we believe that this can be your best year. And we want to help you with some tips that may prepare you to make this year that year. And then Tommy and I, if we have time, we're going to talk about some of the goals that we've set for ourselves for 2025. Now, we started last week, actually 2 weeks ago. Tommy started with trying to make sure that we created another way of engaging you, our community, in our podcast. And so we thought about call-ins. In the old days, people called in, but now we can actually bring you on via video. You can come right on and join us on the show. And so if you want to join the diversity conversation this morning, here's the link you can put into your browser. Then you'll join us backstage with our producer, Lydia. She'll bring you on stage for, a couple of minutes to either make a comment or ask a question. Ken, I hope you are jumping on with us this morning, because I'd love to hear from you. And then she'll take you off the stage to make room for other guests. But we had a guest join us last week with some powerful information.
Absolutely.
And we really were grateful that we had created space for you all, because Tommy and I believe that this show gets better as you all become more engaged. It's not its greatest when Tommy and I are doing our thing. It actually becomes even stronger when you join in. And so we're going to invite you to do that. The other thing that we're going to be doing in future weeks is we're going to have Tommy Lewis doing some DJing, man. We're going to bring music into our show. And I'm going to start this morning with this song that I shared with Tommy. I'm going to play 90 seconds of this song that I got introduced to about 3 or 4 weeks ago. One of the things that I'm doing to bring my own temperature down is I'm listening less to CNN radio or Fox radio and leaving all that mess to the side and putting on jazz music during my drive time. And I love music so much that it's exciting me, and I feel like it's adding life to me, my mind and my body. And so we're going to start with a song for you all this morning called Running Hot by Elam Trotman. And let's let you listen to 90 seconds of that. Let me know if you can hear it.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Oh, this is how you start your morning. Come on, E.
I'm just killing it, Tommy. I'm going to let that hook play one more time and then we out. That sax is cold.
Music is universal. It's international. It's soothing. It's inspiring. It's encouraging. Let the music move you. Wow. Eric, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Let me say this, Eric. We both love music, not only for our own spirit, soul, and energy, but what it does to us and what it does to others. So those who are watching and listening to us right now, you cannot see our producer, Lydia, but I can, right? And as Eric was playing the music, Lydia has the most beautiful smile.
Absolutely.
Her energy is incredible. Right. I'm certain that she has ups and downs like every other human being, but her positive energy is contagious. I felt happier looking at her reaction to the music than just listening to the music.
Come on, Lydia, come on stage. Why don't you come on so our community can see you?
Yeah. This is new. Yes.
I'm here.
All the way from Mexico.
All the way. I just came all the way from Monterrey, Mexico. Oh my gosh.
We are so delighted to have you as our producer, because every week, no matter how we feel or anything, we are greeted with this huge smile, this positive energy that gets our morning started on the right foot.
It really does. It really does.
Oh my gosh.
And I know this was unexpected, Lydia. I know it was. So it's not to embarrass you at all, but it's actually spotlight you. Spotlight. We appreciate you. Absolutely, Eric. We appreciate you. We value you. And we know that there are other folks out there who are interested in podcasting, right? You have a phenomenal producer that does diversity conversations that may very well be available to your own 2025 goal. And so I wanted to shout Lydia out. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, my pleasure. I just love being part of this amazing show, Diversity Conversations. And I wish, I'm always, as I always tell you, this is my highest excitement to produce, to be here with you in this amazing stage, with these amazing and powerful conversations. I am a fan and I'm a producer, so I appreciate this so much. Thank you so much.
More than welcome. So for our community, want to remind you again, as Lydia transitions and we get back to our conversation, we want you to get involved. Again, if you're viewing our show via YouTube, we encourage you to hit that button so you're reminded, as well as subscribe. We need the subscribers, E. Yeah. We need folks who are checking in, right? So hit the bell, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you every week for eternity.
That's right. Launch us. Launch us. We're trying to get off on your runway.
Right.
Help us to be global. We are global. We're in 65 countries. That's what we looked at. The data says we've shown up in 65 countries. People have watched us and supported us. Tommy, myself, Lydia, we are excited about the assignment that God has given us in the form of Diversity Conversations. We've been doing this now for 7 years, and we are excited, thrilled. We're in anticipation around what's going to happen this year and beyond. What we know is, just like Lydia said, she's a fan of the show, not just a producer, but a fan. We are too.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times we don't know what's going to happen. And we are grateful that God has put us together to do this wonderful work together. And I was driving along, I was listening to the jazz station, and then I thought about Tommy Lewis. I said, Tommy's a DJ. We're about to do something. And I called Tommy and said, hey, Tommy, Maybe you could bring, he's going to put together a portable, DJ deck or something like that, that we'll be able to tap in, because we believe that we should have fun together. And when we're in charge of something, we can make it the best that it can be.
Yes.
And we can have fun. And we feel like, I tell my children, I said, you have to be the first fan of your music. If you don't love your music, then you can't expect anybody else to love it. Our show, we want to continue to grow, to become new, and to engage you in meaningful ways. And so let me pull back up our work for today. And achieving 2025's Power 5 goals, we've got 5 tips that we're going to share with you of things that you can do that will help you to make this your best year yet. I'm going to share, we'll share every other one. I'll start with prioritize and simplify your goals. Focus on what truly matters without becoming overwhelmed. Now, as Tommy and I put this research together, we were looking for research-based tips for achieving critical goals tailored to those who may be neurodivergent like myself, ADHD, 1,000 things in your mind, you're going 1,000 different directions. But also because of the challenges that we're going through in these times, based upon stress and economic hardship and still recovering from the pandemic, what are some tools that we can use to help us achieve those things that we most want to achieve? Tommy?
Yeah, Eric, I think that's great. That's great. And as you get into number 1 and talk through that, I'm curious, as you brought it up, I'm curious from just the data as well as your own story, how do you prioritize and simplify goals? And maybe what are some of the challenges you have faced with prioritizing and simplifying goals?
Boy, that's good, Tommy. And Tommy and I, what you can expect from us is transparency, where we're going to be honest with you about, I have a master's degree in planning. Yeah. And yet I'm not always the best planner. I'm an executor. I get a lot of things done, but I'm not always the best around prioritizing and planning. Now, as a business person, we've had to learn that you have to look at life in terms of what is closest to me that I can kill, because I had to eat today.
Yes.
If I'm not eating today, so ain't no use in thinking about things 3 months down or a year later, or 5 years from now.
Won't be there.
No, you won't be there. So you got to look first and say, what's close
in the now
I can kill and fry up right here today. So that has allowed us to survive, at least being able to prioritize. But this is something that I want to get better at, because as we get better, we start achieving and accomplishing the things that we most want to accomplish. And I'm saying that Tommy Lewis and I are high achievers that are underperforming against actually what we could do. And I would say to you, community, that too often we blame racism and other problems for you not being able to achieve your full potential. I'm suggesting to you this morning, and Tommy is, that some of this is a result of us not putting the proper goals in place and the proper systems to ensure that we can accomplish those things.
Yeah, Eric, I think that, and I've fallen into this situation as well. I don't think that we set goals as well as we should. I think that there are a lot of people, myself included, over the years that have simply been going through the motions. We go day in and day out, day in and day out. We have some successes, some victories, and we have some losses. So we just rationalize, I have more wins than losses, so now I'm winning. But we don't really have goals that we have to work toward and achieve. Or we have so many goals and aspirations that we never prioritize them and we never simplify them. And we sometimes never achieve them. We're always working toward them. So for our community who may say, oh, this is another good conversation, sure, but I don't need to identify goals. I want to beg a pardon, caution. So if you're not working toward anything, what are you doing? Right. And I'm not shaming, blaming, or victimizing at all. I'm asking you sincerely, if you're not working towards something for yourself and your family, I'm not talking about an organization or the business per se, but for you, for crying out loud.
Right.
Because I said earlier today, it's a great day because I woke up. That is a goal of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the second part is, how is my day?
Right.
Because I can make my day the worst day, or I can make my day the best day. So setting goals, I think, is important.
Right. So if, as Tommy is saying here, if you don't have a goal, then any road will get you there.
Ooh.
So you got to get a goal so you are going the direction that you want to go and accomplishing things you want to accomplish. Now, so let me give you the first tip, which is prioritize and simplify goals. And I'm going to give you a specific tool that you can use that will help you to do that. It's called the Dwight Eisenhower, our president, had put together this matrix for sort of categorizing tasks by importance and urgency. There are four sort of quadrants in this matrix. There are tasks that are urgent and important. There are tasks that are less urgent and important. There are tasks that are sort of urgent but less important. And then there are tasks that are not very urgent, not very important. And so in the first quadrant, those tasks that are urgent and important, those are the tasks that you should do. Those are the things that you should do. You want to make sure that you're getting on top of those. They're important and they're urgent. For tasks that are less urgent but important, those are tasks that you should schedule. You should sit down with your calendar and say, I want to schedule these out because they're less urgent, but they are important. So I want to make sure that I get them done. For quadrant 3, tasks that are urgent but less important, you should delegate those. Give those to somebody else on your team to do. And then the fourth quadrant, tasks that are less urgent, not important, guess what? Cross those off your list. So you shouldn't be doing those. So for those of us that are ADHD, there are a lot of things on our plates. We're trying to figure out how to get started. This matrix can help you to begin to prioritize and categorize and simplify your goals so that you're doing the things that are urgent and important.
That's a great tool, Eric. And I could visualize what you were saying. My action step is to then create a chart and place my tasks, assignments, goals, and prioritize them along those quadrants.
Right.
So not only keeping it in my head, but actually seeing it at home, at work, and working toward that. And then there may be something that's high importance, etc., and it may start to trickle down. I love what you said, Eric. It's something I struggle with. That there's some tasks, assignments, goals that should just move off my chart.
Why is it still on my list?
I'm working toward nothing, E. Right? I'm working toward
diligently.
Diligently. I wake up every morning. I am not going to achieve this goal, and I'm going to put 100% into not achieving it. No, that's wasted energy, wasted time, wasted effort. Get that off of there and achieve something new. Excellent. Let's move to the next one. Leverage external accountability. I like this a lot, E. Leveraging external accountability. Here's the goal. Stay motivated. Stay motivated and accountable. So we cannot rationalize why we didn't achieve a goal. We cannot rationalize why we failed or lost. We cannot rationalize our own position in life. We have to be accountable for what we were in control of and where we ended up. So as we make our bed, that's what we can control, then we lie in it. Sometimes I find myself demotivated. And internally, I have a flame. It burns hot, but every now and again, it starts to trickle down. Right. And I kind of get bored and exhausted of myself. Right? I'm bored of myself. I don't know if that's the best thinking, but what I've done is I have surrounded myself with folks who are my external motivator, my external accountability partner. To say, what 4 years ago you said you were going to achieve this, right? I'll give you one of my goals for 2025, which has been reinforced over the last 3 years. And I haven't achieved this goal in 3 years or ever because of fear. Flat out. I've been afraid, Aaron. I need a new self-owned property for Make It Plain.
Right.
For the business.
Right.
I've been renting for years. Right. I need, just like I have a home that I can call my own, we need our own building. I haven't budged on that. It's been a thought. I've been speaking it out into existence, but I've been fearful that, are we going to have the revenue every month to take care of a mortgage and insurance? Are we going to, all these doubts? And it was brought to my attention very clearly that I should not fear that. And so my goal, I have two goals there. One is to get our own property, and the other is to be unapologetically grateful. Eric, I have to receive the blessings that people give me. I have people saying, hey, I can help you. Right. And I've been apologetic. Oh, I'm so thankful for the little help. They're saying we can do more. Right. And God has been saying the same thing. Son, I will take care of you. I have to be unapologetically grateful. Thank you. Here's what I need. Here's what I want. Here's what we need. Here's what we want. Ask and you shall receive. I need to get over the fear and just ask for it. In 6 months to 9 months, Eric, I'm going to have a different story about this thing called not having a property. I promise you.
Yeah. And so I'm thankful that God guides us in the planning of our show and gives us what we need in order to accomplish the purpose, the potential that he's put inside of each of us. We're doing this for you all, but we didn't have any sense that this was really first and foremost for us. That Tommy and I have, over the course of our business lives, have made millions of dollars. And we could have done anything we wanted to do. And we literally just squander our fullest potential by living moment by moment and not really putting in place the structure, the systems to achieve the bigger things that God has in mind for us. And I would say that the example, Tommy, parallel to your sense around property from a business standpoint, is our buying our house, building our house. We never could have sat around and said, let's do this. I remember Judy and I we walked through a Home-A-Rama, and Steve's picking up the plans. And I'm laughing. I said, like, what is she doing? This is Home-A-Rama. Like, what are you doing? And then she started asking people real questions. And I'm saying, we're just going through here like everybody else that's just looking at the big houses and saying, wow, we're not going to do one of these.
Right, Eric.
She started picking up the plans, put them in her purse. Before I knew it, we were trying to build the house. I was like, what is she doing? Mine wasn't there at all. We had a difficult time trying to get our first house together for like $58,000. I remember the bank took us through all kind of hell. Man, by the time I got through that loan process, I was like, oh, I don't never want to sit down again. Now we got a house that's multiples more than that. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a joke. We're going to go in there. They're going to laugh at us. Right. And everything kept working and working, Tommy, and I'm waiting on it to fail.
Speak to me, E.
I'm waiting on it to fail.
Speak.
I'm like, no, they're going to look at our finances. They're going to say what they said the last time. God. They're going to need us to mortgage our babies, everything. And we just kept showing up, And then one day, Tommy, it was signed here. I mean, I wanted to tell him, no, you should reject us. We can't afford this. We got the house, and then I'm thinking, well, at least we'll be in it for a year. It'll probably take a little while to foreclose. So here we are 30 years later.
30 years later.
That mortgage looks like a drop in the bucket.
30 years later.
And so what I'm saying is that what Tommy is saying here about getting over fear is that all you have to do is do it. That's all.
Yeah.
Step your foot in the water. You have everything you need. You've always done it. Anything that you put your mind to, you've done it. You've never dropped those balls.
Yeah.
And so that's what this is.
For leveraging external accountability, Eric, I looked as you were speaking, the actionable step. And I must have missed this in our prep work. The actionable step is to share your goals with a trusted friend or group and schedule regular check-ins. I did not know that I would be sharing this goal with you in our community.
That's right.
I trust you. I trust the community. I just believe that there are people who want to help other people succeed as we want others to succeed.
Right.
And full transparency, with a different property, some more square footage, some parking, some lighting. We need some natural light, right? What that will do for us in our company, full transparency, Eric, is that my staff will get natural light to feel brighter in their day, that they can look out and see the snow, the rain, or the shine. They can look out and daydream about their own companies, about their own families, about their own retirement, that they can look out into the world instead of looking at a wall. That is really my ask. I have an office, I have a window, I have all that, but some of my staff members are kind of in spaces, in places that do not have what I have. I want the equality of being free to dream and the power to dream. That's what I really want with the new property. That's it, really.
So I'm sitting here saying to myself, God has given us the right character and the right desires. He's given us all the tools that are necessary to accomplish those goals. It's irresponsible, Tommy, for you and I not to deliver on that.
Yes, sir.
That's irresponsible.
Yes, sir.
If you're the kind of people that want to do the right things, I mean, Tommy, you just sat here and said, I want my people to be able to look out the window and dream about their future. I want them to be inspired. I want them to get the life-giving energy that being able to look at the sun, the snow gives to us. That should not be a pipe dream in the mind of a person who accomplishes things regularly.
Yeah.
That's irresponsible. And I'm not saying it's about you. I'm just saying it's about us.
Yeah.
It's irresponsible for us not to fulfill all the things that God has given us the wisdom and the tools to accomplish. And I'm going to say one of my goals is to engage in the highest level of healthy lifestyle practices in terms of fitness and what I eat.
Yeah.
And God gives me these things all the time, and I'm not implementing these things consistently enough, Tommy, and that is unacceptable. God showed me probably a decade ago, Eric, you put premium gas in your car and you put regular in your body. And so, Tommy, I'm going to say to you that it has become clear to me that this year, last year in 2024, I got 2 new knees. I got total knee replacements for both of those. And it's work. It's work to get those, but I'm taller now. So literally, as you start doing the things, you actually, in this case, I grew physically taller.
Yeah.
And what I see, and so I just started saying that part of what we do, Tommy, in our family is we engage in too much nervous eating. So whatever snacks are around the house, when you get nervous, you just grab something.
Say it.
Whether it's oat cake, whether it's peanut butter and jelly crackers, I love those, or Ritz crackers. Whether it's a kid's cereal, I'm still a big giant kid. Yeah. But then God showed me, wait, why don't you load up on healthy things? You like carrots and ranch dressing, carrots, broccoli, florets. Just throw those in the house. Just make those available so anytime you want a snack, you can go get something to nervously put in your mouth that will give energy to your body. Come on now. We're trying to tell you all that the future that you desire is within your own grasp.
Yes.
And that's what Tommy and I are going to hold each other accountable for, is trying to achieve the things that God has called us to do. Highest level of healthy lifestyle practices. And I'm going to tell you another. That one of my deepest goals is for my family, my children, my wife and I to be the closest we can be with each other. And that is happening.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm so grateful at the kinds of conversations that we're having in our family and the way that my siblings are beginning to see each other with compassion, with love, with grace, with a clarity that we've got something special. I'm saying that part of what we do is to facilitate that. That doesn't just happen on its own. It happens with intentionality. The good news for us is that when it's a desire in our heart and a desire that God has, he's helping it to happen all by itself. Yeah. But Tommy, we can accelerate that if we really put that into a plan.
Yeah, Eric, I'm so excited to hear that go with your family and that you are sensing and feeling and acknowledging that it's happening. Okay. Let's do a quick sound check here. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Lydia, very much. Family.
We were on a roll too.
Technical issues, technical difficulties.
Right.
Right. Technical difficulties. Let me say this, Eric, as we're coming back here, we're chiming back in, that let me say this. The enemy is always at work.
Absolutely.
Literally. It's the same game plan, because there's only one game plan, is to confuse, disrupt, frustrate, irritate, kill, steal, and rob.
Mm-hmm.
But our community has shared with us this morning that we're right with you, right? Lydia, our producer, has probably pulled out every strand of her beautiful hair, wondering what the heck happened.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the computer just died.
Right.
Just went away.
Right.
Just went away. But we're back.
Right. We had another computer close.
Mm-hmm.
We boom, hooked it up. We're back on.
Plug and play.
And because I think that the message of today is so critical, because we really are talking about what does it take for you to have your best year ever.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about. And so what that means is that we're not talking about politics. We're not talking about who's the president of the country. We're not talking about the economic challenges that people are faced with. We're saying, what do you have within your own hands that will enable you to achieve your best year yet, whatever that's defined as? Tommy and I have 5 specific tips that we're going to offer to you about achieving your best year. Tommy, did you finish up your number 2? Are you fine?
Yeah, that's good. I'm good for number 2. That was, again, leveraging external accountability. Just having those support systems, buddy systems, online communities like this and diversity conversations, as well as there's some applications out there that are on your phone that can help you focus and or remind you of your goals.
Right. And so the third specific thing that you can do is create flexible routines. For those of us that are neurodivergent, you need flexibility. It allows you to sort of ride the waves of the energy that you may have. Adopt time blocking or theme days, and so what that means is that allow for adjustment. So what that means is that you may have, as we have, theme days for business development. So for me, the first part of each day is really our big focus on business development. Is really the first part of each day, first part of the week is what we want to do with that. But you may have innovation days that you set aside to make sure that you're specifically focused on innovation. You may have creativity days. You may have social media days that you want to make sure that you get your social media messages out there. We do that usually on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, where we are trying to by 11 o'clock to get our social media post, because we've discovered that that's the best time to get those things out to people on social media. You want to do that around 11 o'clock, let people get up. You don't want to be doing those social media posts at times when nobody's really looking at it, because you kind of waste your post in the algorithms of when people are watching. So routines provide structure. Flexibility accommodates fluctuating energy and focus levels that I say are common with people that are neurodivergent. My wife and I are both neurodivergent. All 4 of my children are. I plan to share these things with them. Action steps. Start with 2 or 3 non-negotiable habits that you have each day. Things that are non-negotiable, Tommy, so you know I'm going to get these done every day. Because what happens is that as you begin to accomplish those things every day, it gives you sort of dopamine. It gives you a sense of making progress. And so often goals seem so far out in the future. If you can break it up into smaller bites and get those habits done on a regular basis, you'll feel really good, like you're accomplishing things, and your body, your spirit will see the benefit of that.
Yeah, Eric, that speaks right to Number 4, again, the Pomodoro technique are those short intervals. A 25-minute interval of focus, 5-minute break. A 25-minute short interval of focus, 5-minute break. Sometimes you can stretch that to maybe 30 minutes, but it's ill-advised to expect and demand of your mind, body, and energy to be focused intensely for 5, 6, 7 hours. That's unrealistic.
Right.
Yeah, you can do it at some time, and then you'll find out that just like a marathon runner who's running a race, they're running the race, but they're still getting tired.
Right.
So we're focused for hour 1, hour 2, hour 3, and then we hit the wall and we crash. Right. And I was, as you, Eric, looking at health, I'm also looking at my health. I need to do some things different. I've taken a lot of sugar. I'm not burning those calories. It's staying with me. I'm getting lethargic at times, etc. And so I was looking online, and I was looking at what are some of the high impact and low impact exercises I might do. And there was this one feed that came through. It was like a 30-minute video of a guy who had 50 different exercises and really had this mechanism over your face, on your arm, etc., that will measure the amount of calories that you were burning in your body. And so they had jumping rope, they had walking, jogging, some calisthenics, etc. They had some reading and playing chess. One of the highest calorie burners was playing chess.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's what it said.
Oh my goodness!
And the video had the calorie burn right on the like the left hand side.
Right.
And the science, as he shared it, was that the mental focus that it takes to play chess, if you play it to play it,
right,
it's burning. Your body is burning on itself. It's eating in itself. What? The energy to feed your brain is pulling from the body.
What?
Right? Yep.
What?
It was incredible.
My goodness, that's incredible.
Incredible.
What? I'm gonna start playing chess.
Yeah, right.
A lot more with myself and others. That's the news of the day. And there's also apps like Focus Booster to track sort of those 25-minute intervals. Yeah. There's just so much that's available to us today, isn't there, Tom?
There is.
To help us to accomplish the goals. We're going to let you know, we're going to go about 10 minutes over today because of the technical difficulties that we had. And I believe that since this is our first show of the year, it's so important for us to get off to the right start. And Tommy, I want to make sure that we share our 5 goals. We shared a couple of them so that the community can hear from us. The last of the 5 tips that we have is build a self-compassionate mindset. In other words, sometimes we can get so dogmatic about goals that when we start failing, we give up.
Yeah.
We just toss the whole baby out with the bathwater. And what we would offer is that you practice kindness and recognize small wins so that you make sure that you are rewarding yourself for staying in the game. Why it works, research shows that self-compassion reduces stress and increases resilience, especially for people that are neurodivergent. I think that's one of the things that we have to do is make sure that we are reducing the stress in our lives. Tommy, I don't know if you feel this way, but the older I've gotten, I can literally feel stress entering my body, man.
Absolutely.
And my body is now, my mind is speaking to me.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, bro.
Yep.
Jettison this.
Yeah. Abort.
This is not good.
Yeah.
This is not good. Get up out of here.
Yep. The barometer is going up. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah. And so celebrate small achievements on a daily basis and remind yourself that progress, not perfection, is the goal. So as we talk about achieving your goals, Tommy, I don't want you to sort of start beating yourself down or looking for perfection. It's actually it's progress that you're looking to achieve. But what excites me right now is that I know that as I begin to plan and put some specific things out there that I'm trying to accomplish, that the likelihood of me getting there goes up significantly. And so, Tommy, I'll share one of my goals, and then and we'll trade off kind of back and forth. Community, if you want to weigh in, we certainly value your sharing of goals that you have for yourself this year as well. You want to say them out loud so you know that you're committing yourself to trying to accomplish those. Tommy, I have here to achieve my most successful financial growth year. Mm-hmm. That's what I want 2025 to be.
Yep.
I said most.
Mm-hmm.
That's been in my mind before. Just like business growth has been in my mind. But my practices are not reinforcing or supporting that. I'll give you one flawed thinking, a flaw in my thinking that exists, and I'm going to eliminate this year. I did a good job of it last year. But Tommy, one of the things that I think about business growth, but when I get people in the pipeline, too often I'm not finishing it to completion. Mm-hmm. And so there's just a lot of business that's sort of stuck right there in the pipeline, people waiting on me to.
Yep.
And so I'm going to make sure that through the Eisenhower matrix that I am not leaving important things in the pipeline instead of finishing them off. But if I set a goal for myself that this will be my most successful financial year, Tommy and I, part of the problem is we're not people that have been about money. We've been about service. We've been about effectiveness. We've been about making a difference. And what has come with that is money.
Yep.
But I'm saying that once you understand that money is a tool that can be used to help others, as Tommy talks about the visions that he has for his staff. Tommy, how much more could you do for them, supporting them, encouraging them if you had more money? If Make It Plain has more money, what can you do differently, not only for your team, but in the community?
Yeah, I mean, I could provide some of the services, learnings that I've acquired over 30 years, multiple countries. I can provide that at low to no cost. Mm-hmm. In fact, this morning, I got an email from a gentleman that I know. His name is Greg, who started his company, his consulting firm, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he was introducing me electronically to another gentleman who is looking to start their business. And in the introduction, the virtual electronic introduction, Greg had mentioned that Tommy Lewis, he's run a company. When I was going out to start my company, he was the first one I talked to. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Right.
I didn't know I was the first one. And so, and we had lunch and I just shared,
from your heart, everything.
Yeah, just 20 minutes.
Yes.
Right.
Made a huge difference.
Made a difference. If I had access to resources, be it my own funds or someone else's funds,
right,
there are some things I do know and I want to share them, right? I would like to share them in fertile ground, right? And I mean that somewhat cautiously, because sharing in fertile ground, what I mean by that is if the person or the organization or the people are prepared to apply what I'm sharing.
Right.
And as I was just saying that, Eric, I need to backpedal, because my mentor oftentimes told me, hear me now, understand me later. Mm. So he was sharing with me a plethora of valuable information, but I was not ready to apply.
Right.
I received it. I logged it. When the moment came, then I double clicked and apply, right? And so as I backtrack, fertile ground may be the message that's before its time. It may be tool to be added to the tool kit, right? I just want, with resources, funds, I would just be a tool, an asset to people and organizations.
So I wrote down here, what's the brother's name from CNN, Van?
What's Van with the glasses?
Yeah. Good brother.
Yeah.
But Van just has been the recipient, I think, of $100 million investment from Bill Gates. And that spoke to me deeply, because I think what happened is Bill Gates said, Van, I've been watching you and you are good ground. And so I want to invest $100 million. And Tommy, when my children told me that, I reacted just like you did to that proposal.
Yeah.
I said, that's right. That's the right choice.
Yeah.
Van is a great guy.
Yeah.
He's fair. He's always trying to love on people. He's always trying to grow. Yeah. He's always trying to be an integrity-centered person. Everything in me said, I didn't say, why didn't he give $100 million?
Right.
I said, I'm so glad that he recognized the good guys ought to win sometimes.
Yes, sir.
The good women, the good people should win sometimes. And Van's the kind of guy that will take that $100 million and he'll invest it in a way that makes the world a better place around us. Tommy, I'm saying that you and I need to have as our goals, I've said it for me, that this year ought to be our strongest financial year. And my wife sees me as a dreamer. She married a dreamer. And I've accomplished a lot of those dreams.
Yeah.
But I have not I've not really put a marker in the sand around this. And Tommy, I'm saying to you, as sure as I'm alive today, that I'm going to use all of these tips and strategies and accountability to make sure that you and I are achieving financially. Because if we're not, then our community has less of an opportunity for that to happen.
Yep.
We are that old school talented 10.
Yep.
And so we have an obligation, I think, to maximize what we're achieving out here, prioritizing, setting the right goals. All those things will help to make that happen.
Let me challenge you here, Eric, for you and for me. When you talk about, from a revenue perspective, your most successful year, obviously without hard numbers, you will land on a hard number.
Right.
Is it the revenue number? Is it the profit number?
Good question.
Is it the reduced? Is it the revenue versus reduced expense number? Right. So sometimes some people may say, well, revenue and expense, the gap there is the profit. That's not always the case. Not always the case. So that's my question, because I have had revenue goals in the past, say some audacious goal of $1 million.
Right.
And I've made $1 million in a year.
Right.
This was almost 10 years ago.
Right.
And at the end of the year, December, looked at the numbers. Wow, we've made $1 million.
Right.
On April 15th, the federal government, i.e. the Internal Revenue Service, said, we know that you made $1 million.
We want our cut.
We want our cut.
Absolutely.
And so that year, of the following year, I did not make $1 million.
Right.
So I literally lost for winning.
Yeah, absolutely, Tommy. So that's powerful. So he's talking entrepreneur language right now. We do make a lot of money. We don't want to in a year have a lot of money. We just balancing that thing. So, but what I'm believing, Tommy, is that I'm talking about revenues. And I'm talking about maximizing our revenues within our business to the largest, the highest revenue generation that we have experienced. Because I'm also going to spend. I'm going to spend high. I'm going to reinvest in the business. I'm going to reinvest in ministries. At the end, I might not have much other than what I save and invest. But Tommy, I'm really saying, let's put all of the stops off of the revenue and let's generate at the highest level that we can. And I'm really talking about exponential growth in our revenues in the millions, revenues that are commensurate with our talent, skill, and ability, that we have an obligation, a responsibility to do what we can. Now, in doing that, I believe that means that we've got to find the right people to be connected with. And Tommy, right now, I don't have all the answers. Some of this is going to be a matter of prayer. Some of it's going to be seeking the right counsel, because I don't think that anybody, community, achieves your potential without connecting with the right people. And so what we've got to do, sometimes Tommy and I look so much like we have it together that there are people that could be more helpful that may not, because they think we're already there. We've got to be more vulnerable, which Tommy does a great job at, saying, I need help. And so I'm going to say that right now as well. I remember the day that God showed me that I needed to be in need in order to be a better steward of success. I needed to experience being in need to become a better steward of success. And so I would say that now I've declared I want this to be my strongest financial year, but I've got to start with the humility that says that I actually don't know all the ways to make that happen. I think that when I put myself in that position and the people come along that can partner with me to get to that next level, that's part of the key.
Yeah, Eric, I'm smiling because you said a lot of good stuff. Revenue, most successful, sure. Being a good steward of that success, that humility. That in the biblical terms, your cup spillereth over. That is a metaphor of yourself and your boundaries and the blessings that have been bestowed upon you, and that those blessings fill and exceed your cup. And some folks may say, my cup is full. But when your cup spillereth over, how might your blessings that have been given to you in abundance may benefit the lives of others who are either in abundance or need? And so the revenue, exponential revenue that you are inspiring and asking for, I am extremely confident. I'm feeling some type of way, Eric. I know we have to close the show here, but I saw something happening in the space here as you were speaking that. I saw that you were not just saying those words, you meant it. But I stepped back and I'm in the light. We have different shading in our space right now. And I looked, I said, oh, what's going on? What's God doing to Eric right now? I literally saw it. And so I have questions and I'm talking and I'm rambling, but God is speaking to you right now.
That's right. There's no doubt about that.
He is telling me right now that he's saying, name the number. What is the exact number? Keep it private or in your trusted few. Name the number and watch me spill over. Be bold in that claim. Claim it. Yep, that's what he's telling me.
That's what I have here then. So let me recap my 3 of my 5. I'll go to the 4th one, and Tommy. So my goals are: number 1, influence stronger family, community relations, and connections. Achieve my most successful financial growth year. Engage in my highest level of healthy lifestyle practices in terms of eating and fitness. And then I'm going to jump to number 5. Number 5 is to help 5 other people achieve their most important personal and or professional goals. As I thought about my goals, if you're not careful, when people are asking you to put down your goals, you can become selfish with that.
Yeah.
You literally are thinking about me, everything for me. Yeah. And what I believe is that if all of my goals are focused on simply me and satisfying my almost fleshy needs, I don't think that I have the character then to achieve those. I believe that part of what happens is as I give things out, it gives me more in my bank. It brings more wealth to me personally. So when I think about my greatest financial growth year, it's also my greatest wealth year. And I think that part of that comes from helping 5 other people achieve their most important personal and professional goals. The reason why I say that, community, is that Tommy and I are constantly. Is that other computer on? Shut that off. Is that Tommy and I? Tommy and I are constantly looking for other people to help us to achieve the goals that God has given us. And I really believe fundamentally that you have to be that person for other people. That it's actually easier for Tommy and I to help others achieve their goals than it is. It's easier for us to sell other people than it is for us to sell ourselves. And so I think that just like that song, what goes up must come down. In other words, when you want to achieve something and receive something great, I think you have to start by giving something great. Yeah. And so I want to make it very intentional that I'm available to be a resource to others. And then my 5th goal is experience even greater levels of personal joy. I experienced a lot of joy, Tommy. But I'm saying here that I want to measurably experience even higher levels of joy. I love this 5 that I have. It is a power 5. Yeah. If I'm able to accomplish these 5 goals, Tommy, this becomes 2025 is my best year yet.
Eric, I think that's a great way to transition and close out the show. Your top 5, inviting folks to think and write down your own top 5. So these are not New Year's resolutions.
No.
By no means. These are actual goals that takes work to achieve. There's going to be adjustments in your strategy to achieve the goal. There's going to take some collaboration, as Eric was saying. It can't be done alone. And it's going to be difficult and arduous. In other words, if it's a goal, not just for the moment, but something that you've been thinking about for some time, rest assured that the haters or the enemy does not want you to achieve that goal. And so you have to be motivated by other folks. When you're demotivated, you have to be readjusted. When you are off center, these things have to happen. It's going to be a difficult path, but it's going to be a most rewarding path at the end.
The power of Tommy and I having our own show and doing it our own way is that when we get interruptions, we're not forced into somebody else's system and process. Yeah. We bounce back at whenever we bounced back, and we continue to move forward. And the reason why we're not rushing out of here today is because we have something that we believe can be life-changing for you. And so, Lydia, if you can put up my email address, I'm going to say to you all, I'm going to just close out by recapping the 5 tips that we've offered. If you want us to send you those, Tommy and I will send you these tips, because we believe that if you only put down 5 powerful goals, but you don't have any ways of making those happen, they won't happen. And so again, prioritize and simplify your goals. Number 1, And then we talked about the Eisenhower matrix, that urgency and importance. Leverage external accountability. Tommy talked about that and the importance of that. Create a flexible routine so that you are maintaining the energy to stay the course with that. Using the Pomodoro. How's that say it, Tommy?
Pomodoro.
Thank you.
Pomodoro technique.
Right. That's that Italian word that stands for tomato. It's really a tomato timer, a kitchen timer. The Pomodoro technique is one that allows you to put together 25-minute intervals to be on task and then take time resting to recharge yourself and then get back on it. And then build a self-compassionate mindset where you are giving yourself grace for the things that you do or don't do. So we thank you for joining us here the first Saturday morning in 2025, achieving 2025's 5 most powerful goals. That's our goal for you. And thank you for joining us.
Take care.
Take care.